Sami Zayn is champion. I didn't think I'd be coming on the air saying that tonight. Is Sami Zayn on his 10th try, thank you, Michael Cole, for the stat, is champion. Is this going to be a long reign? Is this going to be one of the more memorable title changes in history? Probably not. Probably no to both of those questions. When you look ahead to King of the Ring, if Oba Femi faces Sami Zayn, forget about it. Oba Femi's going to win. If Oba Femi ends up challenging Roman Reigns, then I don't know if Sami Zayn, he has a better chance of retaining at SummerSlam, but still not a great one, as we could have Cody Rhodes coming into the title picture again, asking for a rematch. Drew McIntyre's out there. Randy Orton's out there. Both are out right now, but are slated to come back in the near future. So I don't know if Sami's title reign is going to last long, but let's enjoy it while it's here. And again, while I agree with almost nothing Sami Zayn believes in outside of wrestling, good thing we're talking about wrestling here, because this is a great choice. It's a bit of a cowardly choice on the part of WWE. And the reason I say that is if they placed Oba Femi against Cody Rhodes, they know what would happen. The crowd would turn on Cody, as they kind of did already during the match. They did not seem to be very into Cody Rhodes. They were very much into Sami Zayn winning, and it is Riyadh, and the crowd was weird tonight. Weird. They were loud and then dead silent, and then loud and dead silent, and then quiet for like an inordinate amount of time, an uncomfortable amount of time, and then they would pop for a few seconds. It was a very bizarre crowd, and it could be a telltale sign of what's to come for WrestleMania. So buckle up. I'm as excited as you are. So the crowd was bizarre. Again, I wouldn't say horrible. I wouldn't say great. I would just say bizarre. I could not get a reading on the crowd tonight. So they didn't really help the matter, but they did give you a bit of a hint that, hey, we want Sami as champion. And I can't disagree. I said going into the show that this is the most interesting outcome they could put forth. Sami Zayn as champion is very interesting. It's new, number one, and wrestling fans are always asking for new. Well, here you go. I don't like new if it's just for the sake of it, but Sami Zayn is deserving. I'll give him that. He's had enough tries and kicks at the can here that it's about time he gets one of them. So Sami Zayn is champion. And here we are. Where do they go from here? We will find out. Is Oba Femi going to really challenge Sami Zayn? Where's Brock Lesnar? He did not appear as many thought he would tonight, including myself. Oba Femi, Brock Lesnar, I do believe is still going to happen. We all know what's going to happen. The third one is going to happen, but do they really go to SummerSlam? Or do they try to sneak it in the Saturday night main event and have Gunther and Brock at SummerSlam to finish off his career? If that's where Brock's finishing it. Again, so many irons in the fire. We don't know where things are going to land, and I'm okay with that. So we're going to break down the PLE here tonight. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Overall, if I was going to give it a grade, B-. I thought it was a good to average show, somewhere in between average to good. I know the crowd was dead, and that did not help matters, but taking the crowd out of it, I thought the wrestling was okay. Not every match landed. Danhausen and The Miz, I saw the SmackDown deal with them. I have been very much a proponent of the silliness so long as you have everyone involved all in. And it feels like The Miz is doing the best he can, but it's starting to wear a little bit now. In other words, you can feel like it's an act. I don't know if he's really trying his ass off or if he's just, he knows it's silly, so he's being kind of tongue-in-cheek silly. So I don't know. I'm getting more of a vibe now that it's not a something to be taken seriously. And well, I shouldn't say that. We know it's not to be taken seriously, but if you're going to do it, as I've said, you got to go all in, and it's not always going to hit. So it was an off night, I think, for The Miz on SmackDown, but on the Night of Champions event with Liv Morgan getting cursed. You knew she was going to lose anyway, so it made sense. She slaps Danhausen and then has her match and loses to Iyo Sky. Now, Iyo Sky, interestingly, after her victory, didn't make us wait even 1 second about who she was going to choose. And she chose, well, the woman she just had a match with, Liv Morgan. Now, it's not exciting because it's like we just saw this. It's like, okay, but it makes sense from the perspective of if I'm Iyo Sky and I'm trying to win a match and I want to win a championship, well, I've just proven I can beat the champion, so why not now make it for the belt? It's a very much a way to kind of give us a WrestleMania style main event by getting us a number one contender. Now we have a main event. SummerSlam we know is going to be a 2-night event. It has been now for a couple of years, and it is it's going to be a big show. I think it could be the biggest one in a few years, but we'll see what the card ends up being. WWE is trying to pull out all the stops. At least that's what they tell us. We'll see if that ends up being the case. Okay, let's get into the details. As we get the open of the show, which interestingly did actually open with the king of the ring, not the women. Usually the women would be opening the show here, but they didn't, and that's fine with me. Oba Femi and Jey Uso end up facing each other, as we all know. And the match length, 8 minutes. I predicted 7, so shame on me. But Oba Femi beats Jey Uso, and he should have. This is a correct booking decision. It's a predictable but correct one. Oba Femi beats Jey after getting the fall from grace, after Jey did everything he could, and he put up a fight. Jey did not go over easily. He didn't get squashed. This wasn't a totally dominant match by Oba Femi, and I'm glad for that, as much as I don't like Jey's character, and he's told us now that he doesn't care about the fans in an interview, which I love. Beside all of that, I really think that he deserved to not be squashed, and he wasn't. He put up a good fight. He actually had a couple of interesting near falls with the 47 super kicks that he put forth that are just, it's so stupid. The super kicks, they were bad before Oba Femi. And now that Oba Femi's here, you know he's going to take a ridiculous amount of super kicks. And he did, and he got an Uso splash and got a 1 count. Oba went for a choke slam. Again, another super kick. He ended up getting another super kick after a fall from grace attempt. Jey threw up more kicks, hit the Uso splash. I mean, what would Jey's arsenal be without the super kick? I'm serious. Now, Jey Uso is a seasoned guy. I understand about every 5th word of his promos when he gets into it. I mean, he can speak, I guess. Not well. He's not exactly a scholar of the English language. But when he's getting into promo mode and he's out of breath all the time in his promo, which Bubba Ray Dudley has said, that's passion. No, that's not passion. That's him getting hyped up and I think nervous for his promo, getting over amped up, which deters from the message he's trying to send. If I can't understand the words you're saying, I don't give a shit about your energy. I'm not going to fill in the blanks for you, Bubba. Boy, he's got some really stupid takes sometimes. And I have to say one thing. I've never shared this on air either. It's nothing crazy. It sounds like I'm about to say something epic. I'm not. I've met Bubba Ray and Devon, and this happened back in 2001. And I actually met Stone Cold Steve Austin. I have a picture of it in my office. That's not a flex. I'm just saying it because it's relevant to the story. The way I met all of them was at the airport before the show. I knew some police officers that were working at the airport that I'm at, and they were able to get me close to them because they were being surrounded by fans of the airport because there was they were shooting a kind of a, not a vignette, but they were shooting an angle at the airport. Not a fight, but talking about Austin's plane being delayed And that was right before WrestleMania 17, which is awesome. I didn't know how crazy of a good time, or rather crazy of a time it was, and of course, until you leave it. But it was right before WrestleMania 17, and Austin was about to face The Rock. His plane was delayed. That was the story anyway, so that's what was going on there. But Bubba Ray and Devon were also cutting an angle in the airport, talking about, I forget even what. I'd have to go back and watch the episode. But before they cut their angle, I remember going up to them and having, of course, I had police with me, of course, because that's the only way you can get near them. And they were just so miserable. And I get it. Like, you know, you're tired. They probably didn't want to be there. But you should just see, they were just miserable SOB, especially Bubba. And again, maybe an off day. So I was 16 at the time, 17, 2001, 16, whatever. So, I mean, I was starstruck as it was, but even then I was like, dude, you're an asshole. Like, I didn't say that, of course, but I was thinking it. Austin couldn't have been nicer. He was with Deborah at the time, and him and Deborah were at the airport. You could tell they were having some kind of an argument or some kind of marital issue. Now looking back, I knew that because they were, you could tell, like, if you're married, or if you're even not, you just can tell when a couple's fighting. And at the time I was like, oh, what are they talking about? I just wanted to picture, you know? So we finally get a picture with them. And I remember him asking me like, oh, are you going to the show tonight? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah. And Deborah was there too. And she was nice enough to take a picture. All of us took a picture. It was really cool. Really, really cool. It's a moment. I mean, it's one of those like out of body moments. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe, you know, taking a picture with Stone Cold Steve Austin. It was just a really, really cool moment. I'm not trying to go into my personal stuff, guys, here. I guess I did. But that all stemmed from Bubba Ray Dudley's and Bubba Ray, his commentary that he does on his podcast that we all know. And he's talking about how Jey Uso's always out of breath. That's passion. No. Okay, it may be passion. Fine. Okay, let's just take it at face value that it is passion. Fine. But here's the problem. I can't understand what he's saying. So you want to trade passion for just comprehension? Yes, sounds good, Bubba. All right. Anyway, he just seems like an asshole, doesn't he? I mean, look, I've got nothing personal against him. I really don't. That was 25 years ago that interaction happened with him. I'm not holding anything. I could care less. He could care less. I'm just saying, just generally as a presence, and he may not actually be, but if you just watch him on the podcast he does, he just has that vibe that it's like, bro. I mean, he seems so miserable so much of the time. But hey, what does he care? He's making a whole bunch of money on the show, and good for him. Okay, moving on. Let's focus. So Jey Uso loses. Oba Femi wins. And the match, again, I thought it was, for 8 minutes, it was good. I do think it was good. And we'll have to see who Oba Femi chooses. Danhausen comes out, and Liv Morgan interrupted him. And as I said earlier in the show, she threatened that bad things would happen if he didn't repay money that he owes the Judgment Day. And Danhausen cursed Morgan. She slapped him. And we all know what's going to happen next. Iyo and Liv Morgan in the Queen of the Ring tournament final, with Iyo Sky beating Liv in 15 minutes. And we have an immediate decision, as I said, by Iyo to challenge Liv Morgan at SummerSlam for her championship. A good match, and actually a bit underwhelming. Part of it was the crowd. Part of it is they just didn't have it tonight. Not a bad match, but I don't think they had that. For 15 minutes, I was a bit disappointed in the type of match that they could have had, or I think should have had. And I guess my expectations were a little bit too high for this. I thought they could have a match of the night candidate. They didn't. Again, not embarrassing, not bad. There's not really much for me to complain about here. Two women that are at the top of their game just didn't come together for a 5-star match tonight. Woo-hoo, right? Let me cry about it. It's fine. This isn't me complaining. It just happens. But the match was good, and or okay, I should say. And we had the finish with the over the moonsault and getting the 3 count for Iyo. Fine. Again, good stuff. And we move on. But I think their match at SummerSlam will be much better with Iyo Sky and Liv Morgan having time to work. You know, if there are live events in between now and then, they're going to work them together, the non-televised events, and they should. They're going to hopefully work together on live events in front of people on TV, even on the televised events. In tag team matches, I'm sure they will, or have brawls, I'm sure they will. So I expect a complete turnaround at SummerSlam, and they could have a match of the night then, or at least for one of the nights. Okay. We have Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins inside of a steel cage. The match went nearly 20 minutes. In what was a violent match, an interesting match from a psychology standpoint at the end, with Braun Breaker having that moment with Seth Rollins where he took a stomp and kicked out, and it was a hell of a near fall. He took the superplex through the table off the cage. We didn't get the schmaz interference that I thought we would at the end of the match, as I was making fun of it at my last preview and prediction show. We didn't actually get that, which is a bit surprising and really just unlike cage matches. But the finish was interesting with the pause that Breaker did. He's got a bloody eye and he's on his knees after kicking out. Seth and him lock eyes. We're not sure what's going on. And Breaker's almost like begging Rollins to stop. That was an interesting moment. I don't know what to make of it. I really don't. It was just interesting. And I don't know what that's supposed to signify. I don't know. I really don't know where it's going. Maybe it was just a moment in the match and it's not going anywhere and it's not going to develop in anything. It's not a seed for anything. It's just a moment in the match. And I'm going to take it for that right now. But it was just something I haven't seen in a long time. And it drew me in. I'm like, cool. What's this about? You know, you don't see that. Usually it's just hard hitting action. People just trying to kill each other, kick out, finish, bloody kick. You know, it was just a pause and he's putting his hand up like, no, like, please stop. I thought he was going to low blow him and then Breaker was going to spear him and get the victory. That didn't happen. Seth hit an avalanche curb stomp, which was great, on Breaker, which got the 3 count. So Seth Rollins is victorious. And you do wonder what that's like, the reason for that. And I think the reason is, and I know a lot of people are up in arms, and I predicted Braun Breaker to win too. Guys, spoiler alert, he's going to be just fine. Just like Oba Femi taking a loss, Braun Breaker will be just fine. These up-and-coming stars need to take losses. They can't go on forever winning streaks. He didn't lose to the Brooklyn Brawler. He lost to Seth Rollins, a guy that's a walk-in Hall of Famer. A guy that's multi-main evented WrestleMania, had one of the most infamous moments at WrestleMania, cashing in at WrestleMania 31. He's carried every championship there is to carry. He's at this point nearly a household name. Even for those people that don't know what wrestling is, might have actually heard the name Seth Rollins now. So I think it's okay, given the fact that it's not Seth coming out of retirement. Seth is still in his prime, beating Braun Breaker. It's okay. Do I agree with the decision? I mean, depending on the reason they did it, perhaps I was still on its face would have gone with Braun because of the fact that he seemingly needed it more. He's a young guy. He had kind of just returned from injury. He's in this battle with Seth. You'd think he's the guy they're going to push next. But here's what I'm thinking. Okay, number one, he lost in a very hard-fought, hell of a performance matchup. I enjoyed this match, I think, more than most. And more than most of the people that didn't like this match only didn't like it because their guy didn't win. But here's what I'm thinking the reason is. 2 words. Roman Reigns. Now, Oba Femi could certainly challenge Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. I hope he doesn't. I understand it's the bigger match on paper. I made this argument in my preview and prediction show. This should not be a match at SummerSlam. It's too soon. You want this ace in your back pocket. It's okay at times to put things in your back pocket and not show your hand yet. You don't need to to put everything out there that you can. You can build things behind the scenes, and I hope that WWE does that, and they don't just look at this and go, "Ooh, we've got Roman Reigns, Oba Femi." No, please. Like, yes, I understand the appeal of that match, but think about a year from now, or even just at WrestleMania 43, if you want to go that road, unless it's something else for Roman, and they probably already have an opponent for Roman lined up. Dare I say The Rock? I've been saying that for 12 years. But you could have Oba Femi and Roman Reigns. What if Oba Femi wins the Rumble? Roman is still champion. That's a hell of a way to put Roman Reigns and Oba Femi together. And after 6 more months of domination from Oba Femi. That's a good way. Also, Oba Femi, Roman Reigns, unless you're planning on turning Roman Reigns heel, I wouldn't do it. I think people would really side with Oba Femi here. People like the new shiny toy. And Oba Femi is that shiny new toy right now. And I think if you want to turn people more against Roman, it's going to happen whether you want to or not. So if that's not something you want to do, stay away. And let this sizzle in the background. Put it on the back burner, man. Just let it kind of simmer under low heat. Get people thinking about it as a possibility. But they need to do something else with Oba Femi. He's going to have a title shot. It's hopefully going to be against Sami Zayn. And you know what I'd have him do? I'd have him lose to Sami Zayn. Why? Because first of all, Sami Zayn, I think, does not deserve to be a 1-month champion. He deserves better than that. He just does as a wrestler. Secondly, Oba Femi could end up still facing Brock Lesnar beyond SummerSlam. If Brock Lesnar doesn't show up until SummerSlam and screws Oba Femi at SummerSlam, then you have Brock for, maybe the rest of the year. Maybe Brock goes to WrestleMania 43. We don't know what the hell Brock Lesnar's doing. We don't know what the plan is for Brock. Only Brock does, and Paul Heyman and Paul Levesque, and those at the very top probably know what the real plan is. So, I don't want Oba and Roman. I understand the appeal, and they're probably going to go with that. And the reason is they can't help themselves, and they feel in the moment it's going to sell more tickets than Roman and Seth Rollins, which is probably the other side of the coin, than Oba Femi and Roman Reigns. And that's the other part of this is Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. That's likely the reason that he beat Braun Breaker, is to put him in a position to claim he's maybe next in line to challenge Roman Reigns. And look at their history. They have a storied history, to say the very least. Not that WWE cares about storied histories, a la Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes leading into WrestleMania 42 this year. They didn't even touch on their history, which is it's a criminal offense. Someone needs to be prosecuted under the fullest extent of the law for that. And making it about Pat McAfee, which we all know was a disaster. So there's a lot of history to pull with Roman and Seth. I think you could set up for Roman and Seth. They had, and that's a nice substitute. If you're not going to do Oba Femi Roman, I do think Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns is a great place to be. They're comfortable. They don't wrestle enough where you feel like it's boring, and you've seen this. They take enough time between their matches where you're thinking, okay, yeah, we've seen this, but it's been a while. It always feels like by the time they meet again, they're two slightly different people. And it feels a little more fresh than if you stacked their matches together, like you have 4 or 5 in a year. No, they meet like every couple of years at most. And they've never even had a real program, meaning they've never had a multi-month one-on-one program. There's always another third party interfering somewhere. And you may say, well, what about last year? Last year there was CM Punk. So it wasn't about Roman and Seth. Imagine the sit-down interviews with them. They'll talk about the moment the Shield broke up, when Roman Reigns was heisted at WrestleMania 31, the backstabbing, the brawls, everything. There's enough there, and I hope they go with Roman and Seth, and they go with Oba Femi and Sami Zayn. And again, if you want to make Oba Femi champion, I guess you can, but I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. So we'll see if they have the discipline. All right, but good effort here. I really do hope Braun Breaker's okay. I think he was. They continued the match, so I would think he was. And a good match, good effort, long, and well done. Nice near falls, and I was a fan. All right. So, Trick Williams and Ricky Saints for the United States Championship. The match went 11 minutes. Boy, the crowd didn't give a crap about this one. They didn't care at all. Because Ricky Saints, hey, he's not a star. Not even close. Most people are going to chant, "Who are you?" Because he doesn't have any brand value yet. He has just begun his career, at least on the main roster, which to a lot of people is just beginning your career. So he's got a lot of work to do. He's young. He's obviously athletic. He has a bit of a disadvantage height-wise, so he's going to have to overcome that. And you could say, well, a lot of guys are shorter now, but look at the guys that are on top, right? 6 foot and above. He's not 6 foot. So it still is a challenge he's going to have to overcome. He's obviously very athletic, very good in the ring, but he's not over. And the crowd showed him that. And they were just mostly like, "Who are you?" Even for Trick Williams, they weren't really into this matchup. Nobody really bought into the fact that he was going to ever change beat Trick Williams for the championship. And he had little Yachty get involved and try to trick the referee and all the rest of it. It was, I don't know. I thought this match was okay. It was largely forgettable with the very predictable outcome of Trick Williams beating him. And so it was finished with a counter of a bookend, and then Trick caught him with a trick shot and got the victory. And it's fine. So, I don't mean to poo-poo on this match, but with the crowd's disinterest, the very predictable outcome, and the matchup not even being, it wasn't great. It was fine. I'm not gonna crap on these two men's their effort here. They did what they could, and it was fine. That's why I'm giving this a B-, guys. You'll notice my theme is kind of like, it's okay to good. It's fine. Like, it's fine. All right. So we then have Cole hyping a video package on WrestleMania 43 being in Riyadh. I don't care. I wish money wasn't the factor here. We'd have it in London. We'd have it back in, Miami, LA, Chicago. But in Riyadh, it never feels right. They've been there now for 10 years? And every time they go, it's just like, for whatever event, whether it's the greatest Royal Rumble, which is just a dumb concept, whatever the event is, I look at that event and I groan every time. It's not getting better. I don't know how you feel about the Riyadh events. From the crowd now not being as interested in the product, to the women still having to wear bodysuits, and we're all supposed to celebrate their progress in women. Are you fucking kidding me? As if it's supposed to be some kind of big achievement that the women were allowed to wrestle in Riyadh. Like, we're all supposed to celebrate that in 2026 as some big accomplishment, some big breakthrough, some trailblazing policy. Get the hell out of here. I'm not buying it. I think I have nothing. I don't have a whole lot of good feelings. I don't have a whole lot of warm, fuzzy feelings every single time they go to Riyadh. It's just sour feeling. It's like, oh, let's just go get through it. Can we move on so we don't have to come back? That's how I feel every single time. I'm just, okay, is this Riyadh deal done yet? Like, can we just get through this one so we can go back to the UK or France or rather wherever? I don't care. Argentina. Let's go to the South Pole. Anywhere. All right. So we then have Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill for the Women's United States Championship. I'm surprised this was so late in the show. I thought this would be closer to the open of the show, but here nor there. Quick match, criminally quick, with Tiffany Stratton beating Jade in 7.5 minutes after she hit the prettiest moonsault. But it's not that simple, right? Because we had Charlotte Flair show up, grab the title before Jade could, and Jade was hit in the head with the belt, which allowed Stratton to hit the prettiest moonsault and get the 3 count. Every woman is covering everything from arms and legs and wrists, and it's so stupid. Respect their culture. Hey, no. How about we just respect people's general just ability to be human? I mean, I'm not buying into that. I'm really not. I'm not buying into well, that's their culture. Okay, well, that's not how we live. And anyway, I'm not going to get into it. Let's go on. So, the match was okay. The crowd really wasn't into this one either. They did not seem to be into it. The chemistry between Jade and Tiffany wasn't also as good as I had thought it would be at this point. It was a bit of a downer of a match. If I was going to choose the match that was the, I guess, quote unquote, worst of the night, this one would probably be it. Not good. Not embarrassing. Just kind of like the crowd didn't care. Not an exciting finish. They didn't have a lot of smooth chemistry together. And it was a bit of a clunker. Was the right person victorious? I don't know. I mean, I was kind of hoping Jade would be. She lost the women's championship. She has a group now. You would think they'd give her some mid-card title. Tiffany Stratton's not doing shit with it. So I think Tiffany would have been, or Jade would have certainly been better off had she won. Tiffany is not doing anything with that belt. They have not given her an interesting storyline at all. The crowd has largely forgotten about her. Just listen to not just tonight, but when you go back over the last several months of SmackDown, it's like, she's too busy, I guess, putting TikToks up, showing everybody her latest outfit, or I don't know, her makeup or purse or whatever the hell she's doing. She's too busy about that, or showing off her boyfriend's tattoos of her that he got and whatever. I don't know. I'm not going to get into it. Not the time for it. But for Jade, this was not a good night. I'm going to move on from this because this will be washed away. Jade needs to look. Jade is now in a position where she's come far enough and she has a group behind her that you could put her as a women's U.S. champion and you would, I think, get a lot of value out of that. Tiffany's not adding value to that belt. To her, it's an accessory, like everything else. But to Jade, it would look better around her waist. She's got more momentum. I feel like she takes it more seriously. It feels, and it would benefit also Michin and BFAB, who are with her. Now they're associating themselves with somebody who's carrying gold. It just makes no sense to keep it on Tiffany, but whatever. I guess there's more to come here. They're trying to set up for Charlotte and Jade, which we all have been waiting for. So we have Cody Rhodes, Gunther, and Sami Zayn, a triple threat for the United States, the WWE Championship. And the match ends up going, let me look at the timestamp, 18 minutes and 40 seconds. And the match, I think, was largely really good. We had a lot of boos for Cody. Gunther getting the boos as well, as you'd expect. And the real babyface here, according to the crowd, was Sami Zayn. So some of the moments here, Gunther with his big chops, putting both men down. Cody comes back with a Cody cutter on Gunther. He power slammed Gunther and then hit Zayn with a side effect. Cody then hit Zayn with a suicide dive. He went for crossroads, but Gunther countered with a power bomb and had Cody pinned, and then Zayn broke it up. Zayn ends up hitting Gunther into the ring steps, and Cody hit Gunther with a Cody cutter, and then Zayn pulled the referee out, And Cole said it was absolutely legal in a triple threat. Well, I mean, I just don't understand that you have three people and suddenly we don't know how to enforce rules. We don't know how to. It makes no sense. No rules. It is so asinine. So asinine. I will explain this one more time if you're new to the show and you're thinking, well, that makes sense that they don't have disqualifications or countouts because if there's three people, how are you going to enforce disqualifications and countouts? And easy. Okay, ready? The person that hits somebody in the back with a chair right in front of the ref, okay? That person is disqualified and leaves the match. They are the victim of their own consequences, of their own actions. Right? Now it's one-on-one. See how easy that was? Instead of having everyone tangled together where if someone does something, everyone's disqualified. How does that make sense? Just take the person who did the thing out of the match. They're gone. They suffer the consequences. But no, we have to overthink this. I would love to sit down with somebody who feels that this is a good idea to continue to just by default make all triple threats no disqualification. Explain why. I'm not crapping on this match at all. It was a good match. Good, really good. Just the concept of a triple threat or fatal four-way. The minute you add more than one person to a match that's not a tag team match, suddenly, I don't know. What do we do? It makes no sense, and we all just accept it. Much like steel cage matches that you can just walk through a door and win. How? Why does that make sense? Again, not crapping on anybody in the steel cage match tonight. They put a hell of an effort forth a hell of an effort. But the concept of being able to walk through a door after the purpose of the steel cage is to keep you inside said ring. How does it make sense that all you got to do is walk through a door to win? How is running away? Whoever can run away the best wins. All right, I know you're thinking too much on wrestling. No, but these are just insanely obvious loopholes that are never considered. It's wrestling. Okay, if you can't see through these obvious, massive, gaping loopholes that just can be addressed with the simplest of explanations or changes, I mean, you got to be below room temperature IQ. You do. Okay. So anyway, yeah, it's absolutely legal because we have three people in a match. Therefore, anything can happen. All right. So we then had Gunther powerbomb Zayn and powerbomb Cody onto Zayn. And we had, more powerbombs. He powerbombed Cody on the broadcast table. Zayn gets back in the ring. He hits an exploder suplex. He hits a haluva kick and covered Gunther for a near fall that was really nice. And again, kick out, because everybody kicks out of finishers these days. Zayn then pulled Gunther to his feet, and Gunther hit him with a clothesline. And Cody ran up the ropes and hit a Cody cutter on Gunther. And then we had Zayn set up for a haluva kick. But Gunther grabbed him, put him in a sleeper. Zayn reversed. Cody hit double crossroads and went for another Cody cutter because rinse and repeat every move here. And Zayn then countered into a pin. So it was a counter, not a finisher, that allowed Zayn to get the victory on Cody. Notice he didn't get it on Gunther. I like that. He got it on Cody because the story has been between Cody and Sami more than Gunther. Gunther has been kind of an outsider on this whole thing. So Sami Zayn wins. Some analysis here that I'm reading from other podcasters says a hell of a moment to close a strong triple threat. I love that Zayn pinned the defending champion rather than the other challenger. So concurring with my analysis as well. Will this be a short title reign that ends with Oba Femi beating him at SummerSlam? Regardless, it's great to see Zayn finally win. My only complaint is that the company really had the announcers and countdown show hosts lay it on thick with all the talk about how Zayn couldn't win the big one, and Graves even saying this might be it if he failed to win the title on his 10th try. They were so heavy-handed it felt like the focus was on the match, or that was the focus of the match, which may have tipped off the outcome for some viewers. Yeah, I didn't watch the pre-show, but oftentimes they will give you a pretext to kind of fill in your brain. Yeah, he can't ever win. But when they do that, it is sometimes very obvious that they're going to do the opposite to set you up. But I don't ever, sometimes it is, but sometimes it's not. I mean, it's not a 100% satisfaction rate here or 100% guarantee where you have this thing happen where WWE tells you, oh, this doesn't happen. They've never done this. He's never done that. He's tried and tried. And that doesn't mean that person's going to win. Sometimes they do that and there's nothing there and he continues to lose. But I'm sure in the last 9 tries, Sami Zayn was talked about in the pre-show in his last 9 title attempts and saying how he's never won the big one. He can't win the big one. I mean, I remember just offhand a lot of the title matches he's had, especially with Roman Reigns. He can't win. He won't win. And he didn't win. Like, it's happened. It's happened like quite a few times. Again, not that anyone's going to go through the effort of pulling up that commentary prior to the match with Sami Zayn and whoever the champion was at the time. But I can bet you there's a lot of that in the pre-show and in the announcers during the match. So, anyway, good show. Not great. Good, B-. I stick with that as we close out the show here. And again, we have Monday Night Raw coming up. That should be a fun show as we now build towards the Madison Square Garden event, but also SummerSlam. So it's going to be kind of one of those dual promotions coming up. And where is Raw? I'm trying to see where Raw is. Where is Raw this coming Monday? And it looks like, okay, it's in Atlantic City, New Jersey, if I'm not mistaken. And then they go, ooh. So update here, and this is just my conjecture. We have Raw coming to Atlantic City, New Jersey at the Jim Whalen Boardwalk Hall. Okay, fine, whatever. So it's in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Never been. I would like to go there. Not that I like Jersey, but I heard Atlantic City's fun. So anyway, June 29th, in 2 days. Then next Monday, Allstate Arena in Chicago. If there is ever a time, and you know I'm going to say that he's going to come back, it's been a while, he's coming. Punk, you would think, would be coming back to Chicago next Monday night. Or he returns in Atlanta or Atlantic City, New Jersey, and has a big match coming up for Chicago. One of the two. Either way, I would think CM Punk's return is imminent. All the rumors about him having issues with Triple H and creative. Who doesn't? If you don't have issues with creative in the front office, you're lying. Everyone does. Because everybody wants to be in a different position in their career. Of course they do. You don't think that they're critical of creative, of the decisions that are made on their own careers by other people? Of course they are. So just by default, CM Punk has issues. Yes. But anyway, Punk would probably come back at least by next Monday for Chicago. And then they're in the American Airlines Center in Dallas the next month or the next week, then Detroit, and then Inglewood, California. And in between that, of course, is the Madison Square Garden Saturday night main event. So that should be fun as well. So that'll be the next thing they're really aiming towards, but also SummerSlam. So you're going to hear SummerSlam, but in between, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's right. We have a Saturday night main event, which I thought would be headlined by Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi 3, but who knows? So it could be headlined by CM Punk and someone, who knows? So anyway, wanted to give you that little tidbit. It looks like his return should be imminent. Let me know what you guys thought about the Night of Champions event in Riyadh. It was, I think, noteworthy, newsworthy, whether it was the crowd or the lack of one, or the outcomes, the Jey Uso, Oba Femi match, Danhausen, whatever you want to give me your opinion on. Of course, I'm open to it. Send me an email, mailbag@wwepodcast.com. Also, we want to go ad-free, patreon.com/WWE podcast is a good place to go. I'll be back on Monday. With your Monday Night Raw review, or Tuesday morning, rather, with your Monday Night Raw review. And if in between that, maybe a video or two and some retro shows that I handpicked myself, whether it was previous co-hosts. We used to do like 2-hour shows with previous co-hosts, and I try to pick some good ones out for you over the years. That ones you may not have heard before, or ones that you have and haven't heard in a while, and hopefully you enjoy them. All right, that's enough. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.